So we're here today with Gabrielle Kubi, who is a writer and a sociologist, and you're touring Sydney at the moment, Gabrielle, talking about the sexual revolution and the gender revolution. Can you tell us about gender ideology and where has it come from?
My book is called The Global Sexual Revolution, and the subtitle is significant. It's Destruction of Freedom in the Name of Freedom. This is what is happening. They're selling all this as freedom, and in reality what is happening, it is destruction of freedom. And we see a new kind of totalitarianism coming towards us. Basic human rights are strangled in a way, and sort of less and less of them is there. So that is the danger. You are asking where it has come from. In my book I have a whole chapter, and I start with the French Revolution. All these minds which have contributed to an ideology which is simply crazy, telling us that we can choose our sex. That's just madness, and anybody can recognize it as madness. And it is just very amazing that it is penetrating our societies down into kindergarten and our school curricula. This is what is happening, yeah? So you could trace it back, but the main breakthrough is the student rebellion at the end of the 60s into the 70s. I was running along with it at the time. I was studying in the West Berlin Free University, sociology, and that upheaval started, and it had three impulses. Communist ideology, all of a sudden, although a wall was separating Berlin, yeah, and you saw there was totalitarianism on the other side. Radical feminism. Radical feminism means it's not about equality of women and men. We are equal, we have the same dignity. There needed to be a change because the balance between men and women wasn't equal. There needed to be a change, but it turned into radical feminism, and radical feminism goes against women as mothers. We are life givers. We should not have this taken away from us. We care for life, we give life, yeah? This is our essence. And it turns against men, it degrades men, makes the fathers absent. 80% of the delinquents, youth, have no father. It turns against the child and says it's a human right to kill your child in the womb. So these radical feminists are really our enemies and not our friends, and they pretend to speak in our name. Number 4 is the so-called sexual liberation. Have sex in any way you like with anybody you like. That was the movement then of the rebellious students. Have sex with children, have sex in front of children, let children have sex. And this is behind what is happening now. You have the Safe School program. The false paradigm is children are sexual beings. They need to satisfy their sexual urges. Children. A definition of childhood is to protect them to give them a space for childhood, which is not sexualized. And now they're sexualizing our children. So, just one more sentence. It's the breakthrough was this movement. And the terrible thing is that these academics, revolutionary academics, then did the march through the institutions and arrived at the very top of politics, United Nations, European Union. They are doing just these strategies now, which the students then forcefully demanded. Politics, education, academia, media, judiciary, all of it, and the global corporations, Apple, Facebook, Google, they're all behind it.
You were talking a bit about safe schools and you know, you've spoken about the sexualization of children through the state. In Australia, obviously, we've got the debate about same-sex marriage. Are the two linked? Are the two sort of the push for same-sex marriage and the education programs? It
could be obvious to anyone. First of all, what is marriage? marriage in all millennia and in all societies, in all phases of history, has been the unity of a man and a woman to give life to children and form families. That is marriage. And you cannot redefine it. If you say a frog is an eagle, it will not become an eagle, but you will confuse people. Yeah, this is happening. Anybody knows what marriage is. The demand for same-sex marriage is put out by a minority of the population. It's something around 2%. In all the countries where this movement has actually succeeded and managed to have civil unions, which is the first stage, we only want civil unions. No, we don't want marriage. That was in Germany in 2001, we had civil unions. Now the battle is about marriage. Yeah? Wherever they have succeeded by having civil unions or same-sex marriage, only 2% of these 2% make use of it. This should alert us. They don't want what they are fighting for. They're not making use. They're turning over the whole value system of our society. And once it's happened, they don't make use of it because, for a simple reason, homosexual life is promiscuous. All studies show that. It is. Yeah? So why marriage? And the aim is to destroy the structure of family and marriage so that we have chaos. This is the real aim. Make the binary burn is the title of a transgender activist. You are asking, how is this connected with a safe school system, the sexualization of children in schools? It is amazing. I grew up in a time when adults protected the childhood of children by sort of carving out an unsexualized space. A family can only exist that way, yeah? Now I have to protect. I cannot tell to adults in my talks what is going on in schools because it is pornographic and obscene, and I sort of can't even put out the images. Or say, people in New Zealand, they told me, children in school, of course they have to practice pulling condoms over plastic penises, and I think if they can work a mobile phone, they would be able to work a condom if need be. Yeah? There's no need to teach them. And they have to distinguish the flavors of condoms. Yeah? I think this is just outrageous. The World Health Organization promotes masturbation in a program, official program, Standards of Sexuality Education, promotes masturbation from 0 to 4 years beginning in the first age group, teach them masturbation, and all the way through, teach them different lifestyles, teach them that any kind of sex is normal, you choose, maybe you even choose your sex, your biological sex, it's only described to you. So this is the mad movement we're in. Now your question. I'm sorry, I have to sort of give the backgrounds. Now, if you legalize same-sex marriage, we change our law. We change the concept of marriage. This is now law. Of course we have to teach our children to go along with it. Of course we have to teach them in kindergarten that the prince marries the prince. You give them children's books. You teach them to the boys, tomorrow you come in skirts, get them from your sister. We dissolve stereotypes, negative word, for the existential difference. We are created as man and woman. He created them in his image, he created them. Yeah? And now the European Union, the United Nations, all these organizations, number one is International Planned Parenthood. What are they called in Australia? What is their branch in Australia? It's that's Mary Stopes is one of them. It's not the International Planned Parenthood. In New Zealand it is family planning, yeah, New Zealand. That's a branch of them, yeah. They are global. And they are the World Health Organization, in charge of the health of the world population. They are promoting this. They are after it. And so the question we have to raise is why? Why is this happening? Why are all these people, all the global corporations, Apple, Facebook, Google, you just name them, they are all behind it? Why? Yeah, that's a difficult question. But we should. I think I'm beginning to do. Yeah, I think I'm not willing anymore to say that all this we see happening. We see it happening. Yeah, is a side effect. You know, when you buy a medicine, you have this piece of paper. It says, "Oh, all these side effects." Yeah, you hardly dare to take the medicine anymore. If you read it, better you not read it. Yeah? So I'm not willing to say. I think these people are intelligent. They're not dummies. They know what they are doing. And these are not side effects, but just what they want. Destroy identity, destroy the family, destroy marriage, create social chaos, so that people do not know anymore. Even, we have even a saying, if somebody's totally confused, you say he doesn't know whether he's a man or a woman. It's a sort of ridiculing, yeah? If somebody is completely confused. Now our power people, governments, politicians, confuse our identity of children intentionally, that they are confused whether they're a girl or a boy. It's criminal to my mind. It is simply criminal. And studies show it has very negative effects. So I think this is intended. We live in a world where rich and poor, the gulf divides more and more, ever more poor people, ever fewer people who own the riches of this world. They want to have people without roots, who are just into consumption, sex, and consumption and sexuality, and don't know who they are. Yeah, I think this is happening. Yeah, everywhere. That's why the title, The Global Sexual Revolution. Wherever I go, now I was in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, in Georgia, and in many countries, everywhere. And the way how it works is, you have sexual minorities in every country who for some reason have attraction to the same sex. They are people with dignity, they're children of God. What they need is acceptance, love, unsexualized friendship. And we as Christians want to give it to them. Of course. Yeah? You have these minorities, politicians come in, give them qualification, training, juridical support, lots of money, work out what can work in their culture, have CSD days, that's usually the beginning, obscene demonstrations, Christopher Street Day, love parades or whatever you call them, yeah? These demonstrations of obscenity through our capitals, yeah? And you get toolkits how to change the culture. The US Embassy, the US Foreign Office gives toolkits to every embassy and money how to change the culture in which they are. Yeah? So it's a plan of social engineering. All the money of this world is behind it. The referendum in Ireland for same-sex marriage, one US citizen gave them $25 million to do it. All the money is on the other side. And you know, the knowledge is there of social engineering, how to start civil movements. It can all be staged. It can, you know, it can all be manipulated and manufactured. And since you have the powers of this world behind this agenda, and I didn't answer the question to the end, I think it's, what do you do if you uproot people? No national identity, no religious identity, no family identity, not even, they don't even know whether they're man or woman. You can do anything with them. And I think actually there is a world government approach to aim at that. And the leak of the email account of George Soros, who is one of the billionaires of this earth, proves he's after all of that. It's now not a theory, it's reality. Yeah, that's the proof.
Gabrielle Kubi, thank you so much for talking to Marriage Equals and XT3.com.
Thank you. Thank you.